Hi, my name is Jim Egan. I'm a professional photographer and a historical researcher. For the past 20 years, I've studied this mysterious tower, this stone and mortar structure that's 28 feet tall, in the middle of Newport, Rhode Island. There's been many theories about who built this tower: the Vikings, the Templars, the Chinese, the early Portuguese explorers. But the main theory is that it was built in the mid-1600s by the settlers of colonial Rhode Island. While investigating these theories, I came across a chapter of Rhode Island history that very few historians have even looked at. And that's this. In the year 1583, Narragansett Bay was to be the site of the first Elizabethan colony in the New World. This was during the realm of Queen Elizabeth. She reigned from 1558 to 1603. In 1577, one of the wisest men in England, John Dee, wrote a series of 8 books convincing the Queen that she had a legal right to all of North America. He urged her to plant a colony there before England's archenemy, Spain, had claimed the entire continent. Not only did John Dee choose the site of the colony, he named it after himself. The Elizabethan state papers reveal that in 1583, what is now Narragansett Bay was called the Dee River. I was perplexed. Why would this bay be named after an Englishman 40 years before 1620, when the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth? So I dug a little deeper into the story. In 1578, Queen Elizabeth had granted letters patent to the whole continent of North America to one of her bravest courtiers, Sir Humphrey Gilbert. In 1580, Gilbert sent 1 ship and 10 men across the Atlantic to scout the site for the first colony. Upon returning, the mission's leader personally delivered the maps that he had drawn to John Dee in London. In 1582, 2 ships and about 80 men made a voyage across the Atlantic under the leadership of Captain Anthony Brigham. It's known they stayed in the New World for at least 9 months, and I claim these were the stonemasons and the carpenters who built this tower, which had been designed by John Dee to be the city center of the new colony. It was rumored that in a year or two, this new colony would have a population of over 10,000 people. John Dee envisioned this first colony would be the main colony from which other English colonies would sprout up and down the east coast of America. He felt it would be forever famous as the very first colony of the British Empire. And I claim he designed this tower to commemorate this special place and time. Oh, by the way, did I mention John Dee coined the term the British Empire? Then in 1583, Sir Humphrey Gilbert's main expedition finally set sail. There were 5 ships and 280 men. They made it as far as St. John's Harbor in Newfoundland, but on the way down the coast, they ran into a tempest. The largest supply ship got stuck on a sandbar and was crushed to pieces. A short time later, they hit a second hurricane, and Sir Humphrey Gilbert's ship was swallowed by a huge wave. He and his entire crew drowned. As the letters patent were in his name, the whole colonization effort came to a grinding halt. The tower was abandoned. You know, most Americans have never heard of Sir Humphrey Gilbert, but he's quite well known in Canada. St. John's claims to be the birthplace of the British Empire, but that was not Gilbert's intended final destination. He was headed for the Dee River, right here, Narragansett Bay. Incidentally, a few years after Gilbert's death, the Queen granted letters patent to all of North America to Gilbert's younger half-brother, and his name was Sir Walter Raleigh. Now there's a name that most Americans are familiar with. Raleigh sent missions to the New World in 1585, 1586, and 1587. However, he decided to settle a little further south, in what is now the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Now in 1583, the devious Spanish ambassador to London, Don Bernardino de Mendoza, had hired spies to keep him informed about Sir Humphrey Gilbert's expedition. Mendoza warned the Queen that Spain would slit the throats of every Englishman they found settling in this colony in the New World. The Queen simply dismissed his threats. So until the city had taken root and could defend itself, the destination had to be kept secret. So John Dee came up with a secret code word for this new colony, and a special symbol for the mission. Dee hid the secret name and the symbol in the title page illustration of the book that he wrote for the Queen. Here is Elizabeth, her hand on the rudder, steering the ship of state, with her courtiers aboard and her allies in Europe, or Europa in Greek, by her side. The kneeling woman represents the citizens of England who are pleading, again written in Greek, "Send forth a sailing expedition to build a steadfast watchpost." Along the top, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the Archangel Michael are watching over the mission. Along the left side, 5 ships have arrived at the Dee River in the New World. The settlers are busy working and trading. Down on the bottom right, the colony has blossomed into a city. with a domed building at its peak. Among the many clues hidden here in the title page are the secret code name for the colony, which was Rhode, as in Rhode Island, and the secret symbol for the mission, the Anchor of Hope. That's right. I've also found that the early Rhode Island settlers in the 1630s knew all about the 1583 Elizabethan colonization attempt, and they knew the tower was designed by John Dee. And to cryptically commemorate this earlier expedition, they named Aquidneck Island Rhode Island and adopted the Anchor of Hope for the state symbol. To find out why they were cryptic about it, and to see more clues that led to my discovery, come visit the Newport Tower Museum. It's just 50 steps northeast of the tower on Mill Street. Before showing a 30-minute PowerPoint presentation proving my claims, I'll point out 15 architectural features of the tower that most people never see. Like the beam sockets for the 2 floors, the fireplace with 2 flues, a cryptic symbol in one of the arches, and why the tower was intentionally designed so that the winter solstice sunrise shines right through 2 of the windows. I'll guarantee you'll find the whole thing very enlightening.